Hi, I'm Chas.
Another trip, and this time we're heading to Niagara Falls. Let's get started. Once we landed in Detroit, we headed over to our rental car and then we were on our way. Now, we traveled to the north end of Detroit and took the Ambassador Bridge to go into Canada. This bridge connects Detroit, Michigan, United States, with Windsor, Ontario, Canada. It was opened in 1929. Now, just a note, we did pay a fee to cross this bridge. This bridge crosses over the Detroit River, and from it you can see the Gordie Howe International Bridge as well, which is a suspension bridge and is quite amazing. According to Wikipedia, this toll bridge is the busiest international border crossing in North America in terms of its trading volume, carrying more than 25% of all merchandise trade between the United States and Canada by value. Now, once you get over the bridge, you have to go through customs. So we brought our passports along, as you're going to need some sort of identification to get you through. Once we were through, we started on the countryside drive. It was a lovely drive, I have to say. Absolutely stunning views.
Want my free packing list? Look for the link in the description below.
We rented this little Airbnb. It had several units inside, and we had the loft. This little place was everything we needed and within walking distance to the falls. It had a single bedroom, as well as a living room space and a kitchenette. It did not have a stove or a cooktop, but we didn't need that for the length of time we would be staying. Now, we got in the night before, so we woke up the next morning and we were within walking distance from the falls. It was a short, less than a mile walk. Another thing to note is that the Airbnb where we stayed, there was availability to leave your car on the premises. So we just left our car there and walked into town. And as we walked in, we were able to walk under the Rainbow Bridge. I loved the architecture of the bridge. It was absolutely stunning to walk underneath. The first fall is the American Falls, and the second fall is the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. Now, I do want to mention that we paid no fees to walk up and see these falls on the Canadian side. The other thing we loved is that you could just see them straight on, whereas if you're on the other side of the falls, on the US side, you can see them from the top going down, but there is no real way to see them from this perspective. So it is nice to be able to see them from both vantage points. You get totally different views. We continued to walk down the path so we could get closer to the Horseshoe Falls, as you can see here. And there are tours going all day long from both sides in the boats that you see below that could get up closer. Now, here is the start of the river flowing into the Horseshoe Falls. I cannot describe the immense power of the water going over these falls and the amount of water going over these falls. We decided to take a little break and we had to check out Tim Hortons. It's very famous in Canada and it's everywhere, so we had to go try it out. They sell a variety of pastries and sandwiches and other things as well. We walked away with a couple of treats to try. So I tried the pumpkin spice muffin with a pumpkin spice latte, and my husband tried the new Nutella favorites, which was the Dream Donut with Nutella. Now, I have to admit, they were absolutely outstanding. We really enjoyed these delicious treats. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls? What's your favorite memory? Let me know in the comments below. After that, we journeyed our way to Clifton Hill, and we had to reenact a scene that we had done earlier in our travel years with our kids. Clifton Hill is a fascinating street. It's like going to an amusement park. So while you're walking around this area, you're going to find some of the big attractions that you would find at a lot of big destinations. Things like Ripley's Believe It or Not, the Rainforest Cafe, a giant Ferris wheel, so in this case, the Niagara Sky Wheel. Lots of things like that. But the other cool thing that is in this area is it's like a carnival. So you're going to find the Zombie Attack Niagara Falls. You're going to find a Niagara Speedway. You're going to find Carnival Chaos, the House of Frankenstein, the Haunted House, the Wax Museum, Ghost Blasters, Dark Ride, Wizard's Golf, Nightmares Fear Factory, a Fun House, House of Mirrors. All of the great classics are there as well. There were so many attractions, I can understand why people would bring their families here. It's a day of fun for families for sure. And it's open all day, so it's fun to go during the day, but it lights up like the circus or the carnival, at night. So it's really fun to walk up and down the street then as well. There are also tons of souvenir shops around and things like pizza, funnel cakes, Burger King, lots of food places as well. There's an arcade, bowling, lots of activities, and of course a Tim Hortons. You can also find a Coca-Cola store, and of course we stopped in the Hershey's store. There are a ton of maple souvenirs and treats to try. We tried one of these maple cream cookies. We also checked out the Oaks Garden Theater. It is a lovely free garden to visit, and they hold concerts here as well. Now, the gardens were up kind of towards the end where we started, so we were back to the beginning where the American Falls were. The sun had come out, whereas earlier in the day, the clouds were here, so we wanted to see how the sunshine would hit the falls. And here's a look at that. From here, we continued to walk down the pathway from the American Falls back down to the Niagara Horseshoe Falls. And as we were walking this direction, we were walking towards the Horseshoe Falls because we had signed up for a journey behind the falls. Now, there are many places and many opportunities, but this one down here in the bottom corner that you can see where all the people are in blue, that's where we're headed next. We had an appointment for 4 p.m. for that journey, which we'll share that experience with you as well. Along this walk, we were able, now that the sun was out, to catch a glimpse of rainbows, hence probably why the bridge is called Rainbow Bridge. They are absolutely stunning to see. So as you go to journey behind the falls, it takes you in an elevator that takes you down where you're in these tunnels. And of course you wear these little rain ponchos that they give you, and they do recycle those. Here you'll see the first glimpse of the behind the falls. So we walked a tunnel and now we are literally behind the falls looking out. The sound of the crashing noise is absolutely crazy loud. And here's the second shot of behind the falls. You get 2 vantage points as you walk down the hallways to see behind the falls. Now we're going to walk out to the lookout bridge. So on the way, one more chance to look outside at the falls. Now you can stay down here as long as you want, and you can take as much time as you need. So there is no time limit. There is timed entry, but there is no time limit on how much time you spend down there. So now we are at the top of the lookout from down in the lower area for behind the falls. There are 2 decks. This is the upper deck, and here you can see the beautiful rainbow again. From here, you can catch a glimpse of the falls up close, and you can also look kind of where the falls comes out from the top of the river, and you can see kind of behind those from the side angle. Now, there are a lot of people down there, but it's not too terribly busy. So now I'm going to step down to the bottom end of the falls. And once again, the magnitude of sound, the massiveness of how much water is coming down is just awing. The wildflowers are beautiful. The rainbow view is beautiful. Now, again, we were here in September, so it may be more crowded during the summer months. Here you can catch a glimpse of kind of the old tunnels before they collapsed. They've since obviously rebuilt those. And now here we are back at the top, taking one last view during the daylight of these falls. Now, we took a quick break and ate dinner at the Queen Victoria Palace restaurant. The food was delicious and the view was of the falls, so it was absolutely outstanding. We were stalling to hang out for when the falls would light up in the evening. Now, according to websites and the internet, the lighting at this time in September was supposed to start about 7:30, and as you can see here, it's starting to light up. But you really do have to wait until it's completely dark. And as you can see, the boats will still do tours in the evenings, so you can see the evening lights as well. So it's up to you if you'd rather see them during the day or in the evenings. Now, we absolutely loved that we stayed till the end because you could really see the colors shine, and it was totally worth it to see this. So if you have the opportunity, I do recommend staying so that you can see the falls by day and then see the beautiful light up at night. Now, we only spent 1 day at the falls. I think you could easily spend a couple of days there to tackle more activities. There is so many state parks and hiking opportunities nearby where you can walk along the river. I would have loved to have had some extra time to do some of those things. But that is the end of our trip this time. So we're about to head back to the United States to continue our journey. Now, as we're driving to the bridge, you can see the Coca-Cola store and the Hershey store a little better here. They also have a duty-free store if you're interested. We popped in just to check it out and see what it was all about. So we're now going over the Rainbow Bridge, leaving Canada and going to the United States. Now, you can walk across this bridge if you want, and we had contemplated that there was just so many things to do. So for a nominal fee, you can definitely walk out and you can put your foot on either side, saying you've stood on both Canada and the United States at the exact same time. Once you get to the other side, you'll have to get your passports out and your ID and answer some questions to cross back into the United States. Once we were over, we could see a little glimpse of what's going on over on the Niagara Falls side, United States.
And you might be interested in my ultimate travel planner. Look for the link in the description below.
So the water leaves Lake Erie and goes down the Niagara River and goes down the falls. So we went over a bridge that crossed over the Niagara River. I definitely recommend this because it is a huge, wide river, and it helps you understand just how much water is actually going over the edge of these falls. And I hope this inspires you to go traveling and check out Niagara Falls. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at chascrazycreations.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.